Right now this morning, why are so many local homeowners left with broken appliances and empty wallets? Our investigation into a pattern of complaints against one La Crosse repair service.
How about some 80-degree heat today with the warmest day of the week working into the forecast. Then we begin to cool it on down through midweek and into Thursday. More about that coming up in just a moment.
And attention boaters, paddlers, and volunteers, your river needs you. We've got the details on how to dive in with the 2025 river cleanup.
This is News 8 Now, this morning.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Alexandra Carter.
And I'm Art Jarrett.
It is Tuesday, May 6th. If you've got spring wishes like me, today is a good day for you. 80 is here.
100%.
Yay.
Yeah, 80's here. I'm just going to stick around as we go into the next few days here. We'll hold on to some 70s, seasonal average temperatures. Then we're going to warm you back up as we and beyond into next week, and those 80s come back again. So look forward to that as we roll right into your local forecast, how we ever go into, again, the possibility of the warmest day of the week. Then you get into Wednesday, you're looking pretty good. Thursday, you've got, cloud cover kind of moving through the air for Wednesday, but then we're going to open up the skies again for Thursday as cooler air from Canada continues to rush right on in. Alexander's like, it's not our fault. And as we go right into, we're going to hold on to more moisture coming back again, trying to work its way closer to us across the lake, but we've got high pressure pretty much settled in right now over Iowa, and that's going to prevent any of that happening. You can see as we go right into it, kind of blocking any type of moisture coming in, and a cold front slipping through as well. It begins to weaken as it goes right through today, and then carries through Wisconsin, eventually works its way through our state here as we go through Wisconsin, going through the day for today, and then eventually you're going to see that kind of wean out, and it'll kind of work down and break down as you go right into it Tuesday. You can see the clouds coming in for Wednesday. Then once we go through Wednesday, we go into Thursday. In fact, those clouds start to really just kind of go right back down to the south and pushes everything out of the way as we finish out on Thursday. That's a look at your local forecast for the next few days. When I come back, I'll give you a better overview of all the shapes up for the next few days leading into Mother's Day. So please stick around.
Thank you, Art. This morning, President Trump is hosting the Prime Minister of Canada for high-stakes meetings, with trade expected to be a big focus. Sunday, the president threatened new tariffs that insiders say could stifle the movie industry. As we take a live look at the White House this morning, CBS News' Naomi Ruckham has more on the second Trump presidency as the administration also escalates its fight against Harvard.
Democrats.
Today at the White House, President Trump meets for the first time with Canada's new Prime Minister, Mark Carney, amid his growing trade war.
I guess he wants to make a deal. Everybody does.
Canada, hit hard by U.S. tariffs, has slapped its own counter tariffs on billions of dollars of U.S. goods.
I will fight for the best deal for Canada and only accept the best deal for Canada.
Then there's the president's new threat to impose 100% tariffs on movies made outside of the U.S.
I'm not looking to hurt the industry. I want to help the industry.
White House officials say no final decisions have been made, but the announcement stunned Hollywood.
Everybody's very afraid, that's for sure. Everybody's very worried.
Also Monday, the Trump administration announced a program offering $1,000 and free airline tickets to undocumented migrants who want to voluntarily leave the U.S. Migrants must register through the Customs and Border Patrol app, and payment is given after the person has left.
If you leave on your own, you can take advantage of legal programs, come back.
Meanwhile, the Trump administration has upped its battle with Harvard University, cutting off new federal research grants unless the Ivy League school meets its demands. Harvard sued the federal government over a previous funding freeze. In a statement, Harvard said the administration's terms would impose unprecedented and improper control over the university.
Meanwhile, President Trump's goal of reopening Alcatraz, the notorious prison in San Francisco, continues to court criticism. Experts say reopening the prison would cost millions of dollars, with improvements needed to bring the facility up to modern standards. Yesterday, California's governor called the plan a, quote, colossally bad fiscal idea. And our governor, Tony Evers, says Wisconsin is joining 18 states in a lawsuit against the Trump administration cuts to the Department of Health and Human Services. Programs impacted by those cuts include reducing lead poisoning risk in Milwaukee schools, tracking and reducing maternal death, and discouraging the use of tobacco by young people. In a statement, the governor criticized those cuts, stating, quotes, "These devastating decisions will jeopardize the health and safety of Wisconsinites." And a Sauk County woman is found alive 62 years after disappearing. Audrey Backberg vanished from Reedsburg in 1962 when she was just 20. Deputies recently reopened her case and located her through a relative's Ancestry.com account.
And I was able to use that. That was pretty key in locating death records, census reports, all kinds of data. And ultimately, we came up with an address.
Backberg told detectives it was her own decision to vanish, but would not go into specifics on where she is. The Ho-Chunk Nation is raising awareness about a crisis affecting Indigenous communities. The Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women 5K highlights thousands of unsolved disappearances. Of nearly 6,000 cases reported in 2016, the Department of Justice is only tracking 100. Organizers hope events like this will help address the disproportionate violence Native women face.
We need everybody to be aware because we need everybody to help make sure that our people are safe. We have people that are being trafficked, people that are being held and being drugged and being used, and we can't do everything on our own.
The event also featured a proclamation from Mayor Shondell Washington Spivey. Republican Josh Schoeman created a committee to run for governor in 2026, making him the first candidate to enter the race. He's currently the county executive of Washington County. He started his run for governor by hosting a running event with students from UW-La Crosse around Myrick Park.
We definitely have to get people talking with one another. I think the best way to do it is to start with the people. We've lost our focus on the people, and the best governors in Wisconsin history have always brought things back to the people. Give them the power, put the focus on them. They'll give you the ideas for the shared vision. That's what we're going to do.
Democratic Governor Tony Evers has not yet announced whether he plans to seek a third term. In Madison, a group of Republican lawmakers want retailers to keep accepting cash. They say not everyone has a debit or credit card. Under the proposed bill, a retailer who violates the rule would face a $200 to $5,000 fine. It is a classic pain in the neck. An appliance stops working after your warranty expires. That's the only time it happens, right? La Crosse area homeowners have a few repair options to turn to, but there's one business that customers say is routinely ripping people off. News 8 Now's Ken Kozarowski reports.
Mark Pomplin in March noticed something wrong with his dishwasher. He went online and found Appliance Doctors of La Crosse and Green Bay.
He seems somewhat legitimate. There were some reviews. Most of them were very positive.
Owner Todd Walter came out and told him it was a busted drain pipe.
He says he has to order the part, and then so we were just paying for the part and the service fee for the day.
And then Walter would be back in 3 days to install the fix. But Pomplin says he never showed. After a number of missed calls and excuses, he asked Midwest TV and Appliance to take a look. He says it took their technicians seconds to see what Walter had done.
Completely destroyed the entire appliance. He ripped a bunch of cords, and he actually took a part that he said wasn't even a problem. It would have essentially cost about as much to, buy a new dishwasher. So we're just like, okay, I guess we're buying a new dishwasher now.
A $100 call that turned into a $1,000 nightmare. A strikingly familiar nightmare that Joe Iverson has had since January.
He said you can pay me the $200 and the rest of the fee that it'll be for the time.
Like Pomplin, he says he also couldn't get a hold of the guy.
Finally stopped in at his house. I said, I either need my $200 or my part. I said, I'll take care of putting it in myself. And he said, well, I don't have the part here.
A month later, when Walter showed up, Iverson says he told him the $200 part he'd paid for wasn't the right one. So Iverson called things off. He says Walter agreed to return the money. But like before,
I've sent a number of calls and texts since then and nothing.
And same here. We've made several phone calls to Walter and haven't heard back. It's a pattern you'll find in 18 Google reviews, 6 Facebook reviews, 6 Better Business Bureau complaints, and at least 2 court cases. Customers left with broken appliances and empty wallets. While some have filed small claims suits against Walter, others have taken their losses and moved on.
It was $100 to file it for $200. Is it worth it?
A good question, because those who did have found little relief. Court records show Walter hasn't shown up for any of his hearings, resulting in a win for the customer, but no legal mechanism to force Walter to pay. The Better Business Bureau says the most important thing to do if you think you've been scammed is speak up.
It's helpful to us. It's helpful to consumers who are going to look at our report and want to get an idea of the company that they're planning on hiring.
The best way to prevent a scam is to get multiple estimates. And if anyone asks for money up front,
The recommendation is to always pay with a credit card because that will give you the most benefits and assistance later down the road should you need it.
Walter has a bench warrant out for his arrest in Trempealeau County. According to a criminal complaint filed in March, he wrote bad checks for Blair City auction purchases. And if you live in Trempealeau, your monthly bills are about to get a bit higher. The Village is holding a public hearing today on proposed rate increases for both electric and water service. The average household could see electricity costs rise nearly $12 a month, with water bills increasing by $1.50. Officials cite operating costs and needed infrastructure improvements as reasons for the hikes. Today's hearing starts at 11 and can be streamed through the Village's website. This morning, the La Crosse School Board has 3 new members ready to serve our community. Meredith Garcia, Jeff Jackson, and Molly Fuchs were officially sworn in during last night's ceremony. The group will now select a new president to replace outgoing leader Juan Jimenez. Architects also presented plans for the new Hogan Site School and State Road Elementary expansion. The time now is 6:10. Still ahead, the FTC cracking down on so-called deceptive convenience fees. Colleges with students facing loan defaults could lose budgets, and Trump pushing for more drug manufacturing in the U.S.
It's peak season for floral gifts, but what about those tariffs? I'm Michael George with a look at the supply chain and how you can save.
For now, we're sending you to break with something to put the good in your morning. One of Pope Francis's vehicles will soon help children in Gaza as a mobile healthcare unit. The Pope Mobile used during his 2014 Holy Land visit is being outfitted with medical equipment for diagnosis and treatment. The Vatican says this transformation was one of the late pontiff's final wishes before his death. The vehicle will be sent to the war-torn region once safe access becomes possible. A lasting legacy for Pope Francis indeed. And check this out as you start to wake up this morning, leaving you with a beautiful wake-up call with the world's farthest inland port for ocean-going ships. That is Duluth, Minnesota. Sun coming up there. Stay with us. Your morning consumer news is after the break.
Get an 11% rebate on everything now at Menards. Our garden center is now open. Shop our great selection of plants, vegetables, and gardening products from great brands like Master Garden. Right now, pick up organic raised bed mix for only $5.99 after rebate. Highlight your home's beauty with Patriot Lighting. Shop a variety of style options in-store and on Menards.com, including this 2-pack of matching outdoor wall lights. Just $49.97 after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
At Wisconsin Veterinary Orthopedics, our goal is to help you and your pet in times of need. We specialize in the gold standard for cruciate ligament repair, the TPLO.
I was amazed to see Bear up and running again so soon. They really took good care of him.
Piper had TPLO surgery and is already running again weeks later.
Fetch made possible, one knee at a time. Contact Dr. Mark Hine at Wisconsin Veterinary Orthopedics for an orthopedic consultation today.
Where there's a flooded basement, there's a solution. Where there are wet spots or musty smells, there's an answer. Where wood damage or dry rot is stealing home value, there's an expert. American Waterworks. For wet basements, wood damage, and effects of dry rot, American Waterworks professional crack repair, waterproofing, sump pumps, and vapor barriers provide long-lasting solutions to tough problems. Wherever moisture problems surface, there's an answer. American Waterworks. Schedule your free inspection and estimate today.
To everyone making time for life's best moments, let us celebrate with you.
In Wisconsin, we love celebrating together.
Big days or any other day.
So much.
From hot and juicy to ooey gooey
To oh my word.
Oh my word. Serving you a handcrafted meal that makes
today a little bit more special. That's what fills us up inside.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
We would like to thank everyone who voted Dahl Automotive Best of La Crosse County. It means a lot to us to place first in auto service department, new car dealership, as well as voting Randy McDaniel for Best Auto Salesperson. Thank you.
At Dahl Auto, we always put your family first. Every pre-owned vehicle has been inspected to a level of safety and reliability that we'd want for our own family. Plus, you have peace of mind with the area's best warranty. Compare prices at dahlauto.com.
If nagging, persistent joint pain has upended your life, listen, there's a solution for long-lasting relief. No surgery, drugs, or downtime. QC Kinetics uses a revolutionary therapy that could revitalize damaged tissue in your knees, shoulders, hips, and more. QC Kinetics targets the source of your pain, not just the symptoms. Thousands of patients have experienced life-changing results, and they're right here. Find out if you're a candidate for this game-changing therapy. Call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation.
All right, in your local forecast, let me just clear this out real quick. I'm just kind of playing around with something here. Hang on a second. We go into how this all shapes up for you. We're going into the possibility of, again, the roadways locally here are going to be on the clear side for today for folks driving around. Why? Because we've got high pressure building in. High pressure is going to give us a chance to get along pretty much all day today. No fog, no low cloud activity, nothing happening. Just a good old-fashioned sunrise, getting into some good sunshine and 50s, holding on to the forecast, 60s coming in, 70s coming in, warm air comes into your forecast as well. Eau Claire is going to follow suit, 49 to 61 to about 77 degrees with the day progressing. You get into your highs today, sunny and warmer. We'll get into it here. You can see from the 80s all the way up to the north, getting into a mix of some 70s and some 80s there. Those upper 70s to the low 80s today. La Crosse at about 80 degrees, Trempealeau 82, Eau Claire at 81, Black River Falls 82, Sparta 82, Viroqua 78. You get into Lafarge about 80 degrees, and then Boscoville about 80 degrees as well. We'll bump up these temperatures to continue as we go into today. Should be the warmest day of the work week. We start to see a little bit of a cold front coming in for tomorrow, so that carries over through tomorrow, and then the remainder with the colder air following behind that comes in as we go through Sunday, bringing in some colder air out of Canada. Then once we go into at least Friday, you're looking at the possibility of temperatures kind of repeating and trying to rebuild again going into the weekend. We were seeing some upper 70s and then getting back to about 79 as we get into Sunday for Mom's Day. All right, so dry conditions right now happening out there, not much going on. Once we get into how this all shapes up, your forecast is going to be in much better shape through the next couple of days. Even though we have a 10% chance of rainfall coming in tomorrow, most of which will be probably working into areas by Mankato for the day going into next door there in Minnesota. That's a look at your forecast. More about this coming up in just a moment.
In your morning consumer news, hidden fees on concert tickets and vacation rentals will be harder to hide starting next week. The Federal Trade Commission's new rules require businesses to display total prices up front. That means no more surprise cleaning fees when you book an Airbnb or last-minute processing charges when you check out. Companies must now clearly explain what each fee covers instead of using those vague terms like convenience or service charges. The Department of Education, meanwhile, is threatening to withhold federal aid to colleges and universities that have high levels of students in default on their student loans. Education Secretary Linda McMahon urged colleges to reach out to all former students to remind them of their financial obligations. She goes on to say institutions could lose access to federal student aid if they aren't proactive. And President Trump says he wants pharmaceutical companies to make more of their drugs in the U.S. The executive order that he signed will streamline the process, he says, for pharmaceutical companies to build plants in the United States. The president promises to address high medication costs next week and has previously threatened tariffs on imported drugs. Industry experts warn those policies could actually increase prices and worsen shortages. Peak season is upon us for all things floral. Mother's Day, graduations, weddings, and while the U.S. does grow some of its own flowers, the bulk of blooms come from overseas and so are therefore subject to tariffs. There's concern that extra cost could wilt your budget. Michael George takes a closer look.
We get flowers from Ecuador, Colombia, Canada, Thailand, Holland.
Chances are the stems in your favorite bouquet have traveled. And these days, that likely means a tariff.
We're going to do the best we can to sort of keep those prices where they need to be, but people can definitely expect to be paying a little bit more.
80% of flowers consumed in the United States are grown elsewhere. Last year, the U.S. imported $2.2 billion worth of cut flowers and greens, the bulk of it from South America.
The fact that they can grow year-round
gave them a natural advantage.
Kate Penn is CEO of the Society of American Florists. She says domestically, small growers, many of them an acre or less, have flourished since the pandemic, selling at farmers markets and to a blossoming wedding industry.
The consumer does want to buy local, especially brides. They love to be able to have local flowers featured.
But even small growers like Moonshot Farm here in East Windsor, New Jersey, aren't immune to the fallout from tariffs.
The bulbs that we grow these from are imported from Italy and Holland.
Farmer Rebecca Kutzer-Rice says she just received her first few shipments to be hit with 10% tariffs.
We're estimating it could cost our small business anywhere from $40,000 to $50,000 a year, which for a small farm is almost the equivalent of like a salary of another employee.
Industry experts say consumers can still get what they want, just set a budget and let the florist work their magic.
There literally are countless substitutions, and florists are just masters at creating something that's still going to make a big impact.
A rosy outlook, even with the added cost of tariffs.
That's a look at your consumer news. We'll send it back over to Art now. He's got an update on our forecast.
Okay, and away we go. Going over to Black River Falls right now. 38 degrees out there currently. Feels like 37 degrees. 100% relative humidity out there. Visibility, not a problem for you. Take it right back over to Menominee. Looking pretty good as well out there. Look at all that sunshine happening right there. Oh, it feels good already. We're looking at 48 degrees out there right now with plenty of sunshine working through the forecast area. If you haven't seen it before, this is the start of the warmest day of the work week as we go right into it today, and then finishing out with 80-degree heat on the way for us today for La Crosse. Once you get over to Eau Claire, you're looking at a 49-degree start going into the 60s and 70s through the mid-morning to late morning hours, and 80s come in around the 3 o'clock hour, so a little bit sooner with the 80s for you as high pressure continues to build over the region right now, gradually coming out of Iowa. We'll hold on to the highs for Tuesday today. You're looking at mostly 80s, those low 80s in the forecast there. That'll continue on. Some upper 70s also mixed in there, but they're right on the cusp of clicking over to 80 degrees like Prairie du Chien. You'll also see again as you go closer to areas right by Viroqua about 78 degrees, so they're still pretty much getting into near warm conditions. As we go through the morning hours, you're holding on to a few clouds trying to sneak in again from areas by the lake, but that's going to get squashed pretty quickly. We'll also see as we go right through the morning hours, we'll pick up again temperatures rising into the 70s by the time we get into the 1 o'clock hour. Now, once we go a little bit deeper in the 4 o'clock hour, after our highs for the day, we're looking at least 78 degrees in some cases, 78 for La Crosse, getting back down to 75 for areas by Prairie du Chien. That's how it all plays out for you. You're also seeing 83 degrees over Minneapolis. The heat continues on as we go into the 8 o'clock hour, but gradually starts to work its way out, and we start to cool it on down. You see that cooler air coming in from Canada as well, kind of knocking our temperatures down a little bit. As we go into Wednesday in the early morning hours, we're in the 40s and the 50s. We'll pick up again the possibility of 7 a.m. after we go through sunrise. A few clouds begin to sneak in. We'll call it partly cloudy skies for the day, possibly working into the area. Slowly but surely, a little bit of light rainfall tries to get into areas between Minneapolis and Mankato. So it's about a 10% chance of rainfall in the forecast tomorrow because of a cold front dropping down on top of us. That continues on. You can see most of that cooler air and the cold front itself kind of leaving the area, going back down to the south and sagging out of the area. High pressure tries to build back again. As you can see, it pushes that ridge all the way up into Canada. As it does, that cold front slips over the top, and eventually as we go through Thursday, it kind of drops back down, as well as the colder air following suit coming out of Canada. Then we go into highs for Wednesday. We're looking at mostly middle 60s to around the middle to upper 70s in the forecast. Then we take it into how it all shapes up for Wednesday, where you're looking at clouds returning back again, taking us to mostly cloudy skies. Then eventually for Eau Claire, we'll kick that out. For La Crosse, we're doing similar conditions with 60s and 70s in the forecast for you. Then eventually Thursday, you've got the 60s still holding on to some lower 70s in the forecast. So we're at seasonal down to, again, behind that. By Friday, you're looking at temperatures back in the mild with mostly 70s in your forecast. Plenty of sunshine across the board with more clouds coming in for Saturday. Sunshine comes back for Mother's Day. How about that? Back to you.
Looking great. Thank you, Art. Well, the app that could transform ALS diagnosis by detecting the disease months or even years earlier. Up next, how artificial intelligence is bringing hope to families affected by the devastating condition.
Coming up in the Blitz, conference title chases are shaping up on the diamond. Highlights from a few key games across the viewing area in just a moment.
Ready for a better career with excellent pay, benefits, and work-life balance? Chart Industries is hiring fabricators. Join the team that's shaping the future and providing awesome pay and excellent benefits. Apply today at jobs.chartindustries.com.
At Ferris, we want you to get the most out of your time and end each day feeling good. That's why we pioneered exclusive lawnmower suspension technology, allowing for full-speed mowing, even over the roughest terrain. Grow your business by getting more done in less time with Ferris. Ferris. Work hard, feel good. Found exclusively at independent Ferris dealers.
We really care about our employees and their families, and then also the community as a whole.
We have a lot of really, really good employees. It's like a family around here.
The customer is always number one. That's always our goal, to get them running.
Having Carrier as their main product with the support that they give us, the commitment to their product, to our people, is outstanding.
From the first call that you make, we'll take care of you every step of the way.
And air conditioning, your comfort is our business.
You can really taste the hickory on this Arby's 6-hour smoked pulled pork.
You know, I always thought your best quality was your flavor palette.
Well, you know, people think I'm funny, too.
Nah, it's your palate.
What?
Arby's, we have the meat.
Cooley Carpet has always been more than just carpet, and now the name will reflect that. Cooley Floors and Design. Along with the brand new name, there's a fresh new look to the showroom. Don't worry, Cooley Floors and Design still has the same great team at the same convenient location. Ready to elevate your space? The design consultants will take the time to discuss your dreams, needs, and your budget. Cooley Floors and Design will accompany you through every step, from expert advice to professional installation. Visit Cooley Floors and Design on Mormon Cooley Road for a fresh new look.
Ready for a better career with excellent pay, benefits, and work-life balance? Chart Industries is hiring fabricators. Join the team that's shaping the future and providing awesome pay and excellent benefits. Apply today at jobs.chartindustries.com.
It's an easy puzzle to solve. The one app your phone can't live without. Bringing you local news, sports, streaming video, and a lot more. The News 8 Now app. Get it today. Oh, and good job on the puzzle. The First Warn Weather app. Download it today.
Welcome to the Blitz. We are reaching that point in the season where conference title races starting to take form. Some of the best separating themselves from the rest. Aquinas hoping to keep pace with Holman in the MVC. Blue Golds with just one league loss. Riverhawks looking for that first conference W. First inning, it's a great approach from Isaac Shelfout with 2 strikes. Serves one into center field to score Johnny Deeds. Moments later, more good batting from the home side. Landon Teachout goes the other way. That one falls in fair territory to add another to the Blue Gold tally. In the second inning, a highlight for Central. That's Derek Pangier out there in center with the slick snag. But it was Aquinas' day. Shelfout spins a gem on the bump, and Blue Gold's going to take this one in 6, 10-0, the final. Staying in the MVC, the Onalaska Hilltoppers hosting the Logan Rangers. First inning, 1 man on for Ian Cole. Gets all of this pitch deep to left field. That goes to the wall and puts runners on second and third. A few batters later, it's Hunter Morse up, ground ball to short. Gonna go through the legs of the defense. 2-run score. Anna takes the lead. Logan would answer though. Man on third for Bradley Check. Gets one past the defense. Little brother Tommy is gonna come around to score. Rangers down 1, but the Hilltoppers would take control. Cooper Rudai fly ball to left field, and that one is going to be deep enough to score a run. Logan mounts a comeback, but Anna takes this one by a final of 8-6. Let's go to Cashton. Eagles 1 game ahead of Hillsboro in the Scenic Bluffs softball standings. Kick things off top of the third. Check out the reflexes by Sarah Schroeder. Flips over to first for the out. Then to the bottom of the third, Kate Wall up at the dish. She's going to send a rocket to center field. That would bring in Sophie Lukaszewski. Next at bat, Evelyn Weber would bring home Wall, and then Peyton Bregan would get this line drive past the first baseman to bring Weber home. Hillsboro makes things interesting late, but Cashton takes it by 2. And don't forget, T-Wolves get their Western Conference semis run underway tonight at 8:30. That'll do it for the Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
It's deer season.
Already?
Nice knowing you. We gotta hide.
No, not that deer season. Deer season. It's that time of year when you can get $3,000 off at an authorized John Deere dealer.
A deer season that saves bucks?
That's right.
It's deer season, now through June 2nd.
Visit Tractor Central today to find out why nothing runs like a deer. Start now at TractorCentral.com.
It's a John Deere day.
Get solar and get saving with Olson Solar Energy.
The biggest thing I want to get across to people, whether it's via email or voicemail or text, is we are a local Wisconsin family-owned turnkey solar company.
We have project managers that will walk you through the process, keep you informed along the way, and make sure that the communication is the best that it can be.
All the financial benefits are awesome. And then on top of that, it's green energy. How can you lose?
Deals are popping up all over the place this week at Fleet Farm. Like Farm Fresh Selects veggie and herb plants, 3 for $9.99. 1 cubic foot bags of Miracle-Gro Moisture Control Potting Mix are just $9.99. And ladies' Carhartt Tencel t-shirts are 25% off. From garden staples to workwear essentials, Fleet Farm has everything you need this season, always at the best prices, guaranteed.
I have type 2 diabetes, but I manage it well. It's a little pill with a big story to tell. I take once daily, Jardiance, at each day start. As time went on, it was easy to see I'm lowering my A1C.
And for adults with type 2 diabetes and known heart disease, Jardiance can lower the risk of cardiovascular death too.
Serious side effects include increased ketones in blood or urine, which can be fatal. Stop Jardiance and call your doctor right away if you have nausea, vomiting, stomach pain, tiredness, trouble breathing, or increased ketones. Jardiance may cause dehydration that can suddenly worsen kidney function and make you feel dizzy, lightheaded, or weak upon standing. Genital yeast infections in men and women, urinary tract infections, low blood sugar, or a rare life-threatening bacterial infection between and around the anus and genitals can occur. Call your doctor right away if you have fever or feel weak or tired and pain, tenderness, swelling, or redness in the genital area. Don't use if allergic to Jardiance. Stop use if you have a serious allergic reaction. Call your doctor if you have rash, swelling, difficulty breathing, or swallowing. You may have increased risk for lower limb loss. Call your doctor right away if you have new pain or tenderness, sores, ulcers, or infection in your legs or feet.
Jardiance is really swell, the little pill with a big story to tell.
You're watching News 8 Now. Expect more.
In your morning medical news, President Trump blocking federal funding for virus research in countries deemed high risk. An executive order signed yesterday ends support for gain-of-function studies in nations like China and Iran. The ban targets research similar to what was happening in Wuhan before COVID-19 emerged, where scientists alter viruses to study potential mutations. The order also directs health agencies to identify and eliminate any biological research that could threaten American public health.
The vast majority of science will go on under this as normal. But the fraction of this research that has the risk of causing a pandemic, harming every single person on the face of the earth, we're going to put in this proclamation, this executive order puts in place a framework to make sure that the public has a say, that if such a risk is being taken, that only scientists alone won't be able to decide that.
The White House said it will also prohibit any future funding of research on viruses with pandemic potential. New research shows marijuana use during pregnancy significantly increases risks to babies. A comprehensive analysis found cannabis use by expectant mothers raises the chance of premature birth by 52%. The study also showed a 75% higher risk of low birth weight and increased danger of infant mortality. These findings come as marijuana use among pregnant women more than doubled between 2002 and 2017. A former tech executive who lost her husband to amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, hopes her app will help people with the early detection of the disease. CBS's Itai Hod reports.
These days, it's the little things Mindy Erlab appreciates the most.
I wish I didn't have to think about this, but at the same time, I try not to let it consume my life.
That is why, every week, she logs on and reads a few lines into an app trained to catch the faintest slur or shift in her speech.
A woman signed a sales contract for construction of a new brick home.
Erlab lost her mother to ALS.
Say pataka over and over.
And even though she doesn't have the disease, she carries the gene.
Pataka, 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 pataka.
For now, this app, called Everything ALS, is helping her stay one step ahead.
You've been doing a good job.
The technology behind it was created by Indu Navar, a former high-tech executive who turned grief into purpose after losing her husband Peter to ALS. They searched for a diagnosis for 2 years.
That's the time you're supposed to be doing something.
Every 90 minutes, someone in the U.S. is diagnosed with ALS. But getting that diagnosis can take months, even years. By then, there's little doctors can do. So Navar turned to AI, creating an app that tracks speech, walking, and motor skills, spotting changes long before most humans can.
AI has allowed us to predict changes in small variation that happens.
By letting patients participate from home, Everything ALS not only makes clinical trials more accessible, it's giving researchers a data set that's bigger, faster, and more diverse. As for Erlab, taking back a little control has given her something else.
I enjoy every day of my life. I don't stay up at night worrying about stuff.
A way to write her own story.
Incredible. And while early results seem promising, the app has not yet been approved by the FDA. A nationwide Memorial Day tribute made a stop in Onalaska yesterday ahead of the holiday. Carry the Load brought its mission of preserving the true meaning of Memorial Day to local veterans. The organization was founded by 2 Navy SEALs, and it has expanded across the country. Participants share inspiring stories of service and sacrifice to honor those who gave everything for our nation.
Here to, again, to commemorate those veterans and first responders that have lost their lives, and to be here for their families as a place where they can come and they can share their stories and honor and commemorate their loved ones.
The tour's next stop is in Madison. UWL students flipped the script on traditional job hunting yesterday. The university's reverse career fair put employers in the position of approaching students at their booths. Participants showcased their research projects while companies offered feedback and discussed potential career paths. Organizers say this format encourages hiring managers to see beyond resumes and discover talents they otherwise could have overlooked.
One of the things that they've told us is that it's not just the hard skills, how do you use equipment, but it's also how do you work together to solve problems. And that's a lot of what this semester does, is working as groups to try and solve particular problems and come up with a coherent story about what's going on.
The fair showcased biochemistry students' semester-long research projects. Now we'll send it over to meteorologist Art Jarrett. He's got a look at our morning commute.
All right, and away we go with that as you look again today. Current temperatures for you right now. Red Wing 46 degrees, 46 in Winona, 51 for La Crosse, 38 in Sparta, and up in Eau Claire you're looking at 44 degrees. We'll even take it to Black River Falls. We're at 38 degrees right now. We'll also take a look here as we get into Onalaska. Beautiful skies out there. Look at all that greenery from all the rainfall that we've already had over the last month or so. And then getting back into it here this May, we're looking pretty good as well. Drought is kind of almost eviscerated out of the area. We're holding on to the potential of more sunshine coming in today, light winds, and of course, we're looking at kids going to school today at 47 degrees, comfortable conditions, 71 in the afternoon though for you, and then we'll pick up maybe an 80-degree temperature as you finish out heading home. Eau Claire, what you're looking at here, getting into sunshine, 61 degrees this early morning, really nice out though, 80 degrees once you get into the afternoon with warm conditions on the way for you. And we'll take it into the highs for today. You're looking at temperatures in those low 80s in your forecast. So get out and enjoy it if you can and have a wonderful day.
Before we head to break, it's time to look at today's Look Who's 8.
All right, how about Caleb is turning 18. He enjoys spending time outdoors, especially going fishing.
If you know a special someone turning 8 weeks, 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80, or 88, we'd love to feature them.
That's right. Just upload their photo to our website, news8000.com, and look for the Submit Pictures button under the Home tab on our website.
Coming up, 1 million pounds of trash and counting. Find out how you can join La Crosse's biggest volunteer movement after the break.
We see you out there, building a life you love, knowing that when inspiration strikes, nothing should get in your way. At Blaine's, we're here to help with everything you need to make it happen at prices that make it possible. Right now, Rewards members get a free $5 gift card with a $45 Miracle-Gro purchase, like large bags of Miracle-Gro potting mix, just $11.99. Plus, check out our assortment of live plants in our outdoor garden centers, now open. Blaine's Farm and Fleet, in original.
If nagging, persistent joint pain has upended your life, listen, there's a solution for long-lasting relief. No surgery, drugs, or downtime. QC Kinetics uses a revolutionary therapy that could revitalize damaged tissue in your knees, shoulders, hips, and more. QC Kinetics targets the source of your pain, not just the symptoms. Thousands of patients have experienced life-changing results, and they're right here. Find out if you're a candidate for this game-changing therapy. Call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation.
This is our home. Family and Children's Center has been supporting families in La Crosse and Winona for over 140 years. As time has gone by, we've expanded our services to include abuse prevention, mental health treatment, and so much more. Visit fcconline.org to see how our nearly 30 programs are strengthening communities throughout western Wisconsin and southeastern Minnesota. Better tomorrows start with us.
Are you ready to build your future? Stella Jones Corporation in Bangor is hiring and wants you to apply. The starting wage for laborers is up to $21 per hour with no experience necessary. We will train the right candidate. Stella Jones Corporation is where safety matters and wages sustain a comfortable living. If you have what it takes and can stand behind our railroads, then we want you to apply today.
Hi, it's me, your walking, talking gift guide with ideas for Mother's Day. We've all been there. When Mom says, I don't need anything, I'm there every year. But don't worry, we've got gifts to make her feel special. Nice. And loved. Ooh, love that. Because the mom who says she doesn't need anything probably deserves everything. This Mother's Day, let Macy's be your guide to gifting.
To everyone making time for life's best moments, let us celebrate with you.
In Wisconsin, we love celebrating together.
Big days or any other day.
So much.
From hot and juicy to ooey gooey
to oh my word.
Oh my word. Serving you a handcrafted meal that makes
today a little bit more special. That's what fills us up inside.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
All right, let's get into your local forecast. Just take a quick peek here as we go into it here, back to the warmest day of the week here as we get into it here. This is what I've got going on for you. We'll hold on to that today with possible 80s today, some upper 70s. Then we get into Wednesday. We have mild conditions and partly cloudy skies as a cold front slips into the forecast, and that will continue into tomorrow. We'll go through Thursday with cooler air coming in behind that cold front and lowering temperatures down back to seasonal averages. We're dry today, as you can see out there right now in Black River Falls, looking at 40-degree heat for you right now. Feels like it's 39 degrees on the roadways, but man, it's absolutely gorgeous out there. We'll go over to Menominee, doing the same thing as well. Plenty of sunshine for you. Nothing doing on the roads except having a good old time and enjoying the sunshine and the music in the cab. We'll go right back down to more sunshine for you as we finish out this early morning. We've got the start of the warmest day of the week, and then once we get into Eau Claire, we're going to do fairly similar conditions as well, holding on to the 80s, coming in a little bit sooner as we go into the latter portion of the afternoon to finish out the day with highs today getting around the low 80s and then picking up some more low 80s down to the south. But you see some other locations picking up some upper 70s in your forecast there. We'll carry over into how this all shapes up. We're going to the 9 o'clock hour. You've got 50s rolling in, a few clouds kind of drifting in by Madison. Other than that, coming off the lake, it shouldn't be an issue for us. We've got the sunshine today, and it's going to stay with us. We'll continue on through the afternoon and into, again, by 4 o'clock. From 4:30, you're seeing, again, going into the highs for the day looking pretty good for you as well. So also, we go into the 8 o'clock hour. Still have sunshine and at least some clearing skies coming into the forecast with a few clouds drifting through the area here. Then eventually more clouds come in for Wednesday. As I told you, that cold front's going to come by, lay down on top of us going into the afternoon, into the overnight hours. You're going to see that cold front kind of slowly but surely kind of dropping down on top of us, pushing the cloud cover in as we go right down. You can see it going right down as we go to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. High pressure begins to build again going into Thursday. As it does, we'll see that kind of drop down to the south a bit. We've got that colder air coming in from Canada. It'll drop down on top of us, taking us into much cooler conditions. So for for Wednesday, 60s and 70s. So we're seasonal average to at least mild conditions. Then we take it into Friday, holding on to position here of this cold front. Actually, this cooler air coming in again for Friday kind of dwindles as it finishes out going into portions of Saturday. You can see more of that trying to come back as a 10% chance possibly. That starts to move out of the way and we get back into more rainfall staying well to the north as we go into Sunday. So Mother's Day should be dry for us and continuing on for some good looking days. Thursday, you've got temperatures in the 60s and the 70s, and as we roll right into the next 8 days, we're going to hold on to the possibility of 80-degree heat today, carrying over to the 70s as I showed you before. Then we go into the upper 70s as we go into your weekend, looking pretty nice for Mother's Day. And then by next week, we are back in the low 80s. Get out and enjoy it if you can.
Thank you, Art. Well, new this morning, La Crosse's biggest cleanup is back this Saturday. The 32nd annual River Cleanup hits the water May 10th. There's still time for you to get involved. We're joined this morning by Russell Wilson, the creator of the yearly event, to tell us more. Good morning, Russell. Nice to see you.
Good morning. Great to see you both.
Yeah, we're excited to hear all about it. What is the River Cleanup? What should we know about it?
Well, it's all about taking pride in our local area. River Cleanup has a all-volunteer event where people from our local community come out to our different boat landings and get out there and clean up all around the river.
Okay, great. It's going to be great weather for that too this weekend,
fantastic
isn't it?
weather. Do we need to register to get involved in this?
Yes, people register at our website. It's rivercleanuplacrosse.com. Okay. And they can register there.
Okay, we can go register there, and we've got some of the information on the screen, so if people need those details, the website is there too. So talk about the impact. Nearly 1 million pounds of trash. What keeps people coming back? You told me you created this more than 30 years ago, so obviously something's working. What do you think keeps people coming back?
Well, I think it's the fact that people make a difference by getting out there and doing something hands-on. And when I look back, when I first came here in 1986 as the conservation warden, the Mississippi River was kind of like everybody's dumping ground. And with 1 million pounds of trash that we've nearly taken out, it's really made a difference. When I go up and down the river, I can see the pride that people take in the river. And it's not just our cleanup. Lots of other cleanups all around the state and the country have started because of River Cleanup back in 1993.
Wow, it is true. It really does make such a difference. Other parts of the Mississippi do seem a lot more dirtier than what we have here. So what you guys are doing is definitely working.
Yeah, so what kind of roles can we play, especially folks that have boats?
Well, we really need people with boats because they can get to these remote areas on islands where people have been camping and have just left everything, whatever. And there's just a lot of stuff that comes down the river. Barrels, we've taken out over 3,000 barrels. If you stack them in a pile, they would almost go 2 miles. Wow. We're hoping that with this year's cleanup, we'll probably hit the 2-mile mark of barrels taken out of the river.
Wow.
Okay, wow, yeah, that is making such an impact for our local community. And so this is the 32nd year, right? So
Absolutely.
You created this way back when. What does it feel to know that 32 years later, you're still having an impact? People are still joining. You said you had more than 500 people already signed up?
Yeah, we have about 550 signed up.
Wow.
And when we first started, there was usually around 100 to 150 people that came out.
Okay.
And it's really made a difference. In the early days, there was lots of old steel barrels and things like that, and we got hazardous waste, toxic waste. We had unbelievable amount of stuff from the toilet to the truck axle coming out of the river. But you have to keep this up, and by having the area clean, it tends to stay clean. When the area is a mess, it tends to get messier.
Right, okay, so you're just hoping to kind of keep building off of your legacy, right?
Oh, absolutely. And by getting so many people out there, it really puts the awareness out there.
Right.
And that awareness spreads not just from our area to surrounding communities in the whole state.
Okay, and yeah, why would you encourage? You know, maybe someone has been in the community, they've heard of this for several years, but they've never quite taken that step to sign up. Why would you encourage them to get out there and help you guys out?
Well, like I said, it's because they can make a difference, really feel good, you know, and it's really a family event. So you can bring, you know, your kids. People will get a t-shirt when they sign up and come to the boat landing. They'll get their t-shirt. We have a great luncheon event that is after our event. Our event is from 8 until noon.
Okay.
And then from noon till 3 at Copeland Park Shelter, we have a great luncheon event where everybody gets fed, lots of prizes for everyone. It's really a great event.
Do we need to bring our own gloves or other equipment?
Absolutely. We want people to come prepared to work.
Okay.
That's what this is all about. It's a work morning. And because there's potential for poison ivy and other things out there, we want people to wear closed-toed shoes, long pants, long sleeve shirt. If you have gloves, bring your gloves. We will provide you garbage bags at the landing, and if you don't know where to go, we will assign you an area on shore. One of the coordinators that signs you in will help you there. So we can do all that.
Okay, so boats are appreciated and you're looking for people with boats, but you don't have to have a boat.
You don't have, the majority of our people that come usually are just on foot, but there's lots of trails and public areas that we send people to all over on all of the rivers, you know, coming in along the Mississippi.
Okay, great. Well, all right, Russell, thank you for being here this morning to let us know about it. We'll have all of those details on our website, and stay with us. We're back right after this.
I'm Nate Burleson. Coming up on CBS Mornings, we will have stories from behind the scenes where everyone will be so fresh and so clean at this year's Met Gala, celebrating Black men's fashion. That's coming up on CBS Mornings.
Shop for a cause at Home Sleep Express. Donate $10 to help ovarian cancer research, and Home will give you 10% off Luxuria or Thomas Cole sleep mattresses. Plus, pay no interest for 1 year. Give $10, get 10% off sale prices right now at Home Sleep Express.
There's a reason Chevy is called the heartbeat of America. A heartbeat strong, steady, unwavering. Like the people who keep this country moving. For them, only America's most dependable truck will do. In every Chevy truck, like every Chevy driver, dependability comes standard.
Now, well-qualified buyers can get 0.9% financing for 60 months on this Silverado. That's over $6,600 in average finance savings. Visit HometownChevy.com.
Now is the time to get your AC cleaned and checked. And Bagnevsky Heating and Air Conditioning is who you want to call. Prevent the buildup of dust and dirt to keep you and your family breathing healthy, clean air with your trusted, trained comfort specialist. Check out our Google reviews and call 782-0664 today for your AC clean and check. Bagnevsky Heating and Air Conditioning. It's hard to stop a train.
Your trained comfort specialist, Bagnevsky.
I have been working at Firefighters Credit Union for over 20 years and been in the mortgage business for 30 years. We get a lot of people that like to shop around, and I encourage people to shop around for mortgages. And the one thing that you hear over and over is that we're for real. What they hear on the commercials is what they see when they come and see any of our employees. All these things together are what make Firefighters Credit Union the team you can trust.
'Cause everybody's welcome at Firefighters Credit Union.
Mother's Day is almost here, and it's time to visit Jolivet Family Farms. 8 greenhouses full of a wide variety of flowers, vegetable, and plants, all grown for this climate. Jolivet's features one of the area's largest selections of hanging baskets: succulents, clematis, citronella, mosquito plants, horseradish, rhubarb, asparagus. Find unique lawn and garden decor. Take home a strawberry rhubarb pie, rhubarb crisp, or try the new peanut butter pie from our homemade bakery. All this and so much more. Jolivet Family Farms, West Salem.
Shop for a cause at Home Seasonal Concepts. Home will give you 10% off sale prices on porch and patio when you donate $10 to help ovarian cancer research. Give $10 to Mocha and get 10% off sale prices now at Home Seasonal Concepts.
Welcome to the Jennifer Hudson Show.
It's a choice. I choose every day.
Feel joy. This is joy right here.
This room is just full of
love. Let me show you how we do it. I got a few ladies here that you have inspired. You did it! Don't you want to meet those heroes? Come on out here. It feels so good to just be in the presence of this joy.
Weekdays at 4 on News 8.
Help keep our area waterways beautiful and healthy. Volunteer for this year's river cleanup on Saturday, May 10th. Get more information at rivercleanuplacrosse.com. Hope to see you there.
Call Hupy and Abraham. They really do mean business.
Welcome back at 6:52. Time for your morning news now. President Trump meets with Canadian Prime Minister Carney today as trade tensions rise. Businesses on both sides of the border hoping for relief from escalating tariffs. Canada has imposed retaliatory duties in response to America's 25% tariffs on steel, aluminum, and vehicles. Economists warn these trade barriers are driving up prices for consumers.
Most people walking through it are saying this is one part ancient economics, almost a mercantile America, and in another part made up ideas where maybe down the road we'll get some clarity.
Trump is also threatening tariffs on pharmaceuticals, lumber, and the film industry. The White House is offering financial incentives for voluntary deportation. Migrants in the country can receive $1,000 in travel assistance if they choose to self-deport. The Department of Homeland Security will confirm departures through the CBP Home app before issuing payments. And Wisconsin is joining a multi-state lawsuit challenging federal health cuts. The legal action targets reductions to lead prevention, maternal health, and youth anti-tobacco programs. Governor Tony Evers is responding, condemning the cuts as dangerous to Wisconsinites and their communities. Trumpereau residents, the Village is looking to hear from you on some expected electric and water utility hikes. The Village says the average residential customer could see their electricity bill rise by $11 a month. Their water bill would go up $1.50. They are holding a meeting at 11 this morning. You can live stream it on the Village website. Republican Josh Schoeman created a committee to run for governor in 2026. He's currently the county executive of Washington County. He kicked off his run for governor by hosting a running event with students from UW-La Crosse.
We definitely have to get people talking with one another. I think the best way to do it is to start with the people. We've lost our focus on the people, and the best governors in Wisconsin history have always brought things back to the people. Give them the power, put the focus on them. They'll give you the ideas for the shared vision. That's what we're going to do.
Governor Evers has not yet announced his plans for 2026. This morning, the La Crosse School Board has 3 new members ready to serve the community. Meredith Garcia, Jeff Jackson, and Molly Fuchs were officially sworn in during last night's ceremony. The group will now select a new president to replace outgoing leader Juan Jimenez.
All right, and away we go with your local weather, holding on to what's pretty much going on for the beginning of May. 65 to 70 degrees your local temperatures for your highs, 40s mostly to finish out. But we're going to be at least seasonal average temperatures as we finish out going through the morning hours and then raise that as we go into the afternoon. So we'll be above seasonal average today. A possibility of the warmest day of the week, not out of the question, where we'll hit some 80s in the forecast, and away we go. There are those 80s as I just mentioned. Those low 80s continue to track in some of the areas. Tracking down to the south, you're looking at some upper 70s to low 80s back across into La Crosse. We'll go back into more sunshine today with partly cloudy skies tomorrow. More sunshine returning for Thursday and Friday, right into your weekend where you're looking at partly cloudy skies, and then just warmer conditions coming in on Sunday.
All right, Art, thank you. A Kentucky mom got a sweet surprise when her son's playtime turned into a massive delivery. Holly discovered 70,000 Dum Dum lollipops stacked on her doorstep after her 8-year-old son Liam ordered 30 cases while playing on her phone. The Kentucky mom was shocked to find her bank account charged more than $4,000 for the carnival-sized purchase. Liam, who has developmental delays, told his mom he wanted to host a carnival and give the suckers away as prizes. Holly is working with Amazon on a refund while storing the unwanted candy in her garage. Well, a carnival he could definitely have. I wonder how long it would take to go through all of those. It takes long enough to go through a normal amount.
I know, for Halloween and stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, thank you for starting your morning with us. We'll see you back here at noon. Until then, enjoy your day, enjoy the sunshine.